it's Friday. I thought we should always start these with the day of the week as a good reminder to me and a good reminder to you as to what day it is. It is Friday, and today we are going to be doing a recap of the conversation that Laura and I have been having over the last 2 weeks, specific to how to take your health practice online. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Good morning, team.
Hi.
Hi.
So, any special plans for the day?
Yep. Gonna do the same thing that we do every day, which is do the work, walk the dog, do the work again,
Make the dinner.
make some food, maybe do more work.
Yeah.
Maybe watch Netflix. I don't know. Might get crazy.
Watch the TV.
Watch the flicks.
Although I saved up last night's Keeping Up with the Kardashian Part 2 episode on Hey You for the weekend for my big plans because it left off with Kim and Courtney bitch slapping each other.
I've heard that. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Oh, sorry. Spoilers. Yeah, they got into an altercation. And so Part 2 came out last night, as did Grey's Anatomy. So I have like a solid 2 hours of...
Yes, I have Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, it's like you got to bank the shows and leave them for the dead time because, you know.
But here's the question of the week.
What?
Have you watched Tiger Kings yet?
So I started watching Tiger Kings when I was doing the book things.
Yes.
Because I needed something that I could just listen to.
Yes.
And I think I got to the point where the one female worker got her arm ripped off, and then I had to shut it off. I was like, okay. Fair. And Alexis was watching with me.
That's not I
was like, oh, and they like sort of showed it, and I was like, oh, how do I get this off? She's like, what are we watching? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know what it was. People are just like Tiger Kings. I didn't know that it was murder. I didn't know like it was murdery. I didn't know about that.
We did the same thing. We watched the first episode with Leighton, and then it got to a certain point. I was like, oh nope, this is a grown-up show.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about, I didn't read the description. I didn't know anything about it. Nope. I just thought it was like some like Love is Blind dumb show with like this outrageous character who like has tigers as a zoo.
Yep.
I didn't know about the murder and the limbs and all of that. So
the limbs.
Yeah. So I have that too.
Fair.
To, watch for like some late night fun.
Yep.
My rockin' weekends, which really are no different than any of my other weekends. Given that I am single and don't date, and clearly I'm not right now.
Clearly. Imagine.
Yeah, we can talk about that situation. It's an interesting thing. It's like there's not even a point right now.
Yeah.
Put that energy out.
Like, that's very interesting situation. Like, what are you doing if you're newly dating someone right now? For those of you out there, like, that's a really...
I'm curious, actually. That's
like, what are you doing?
Yes. What are you doing? I guess it depends on how strict you are with the whole physical distancing situation and not cross-contaminating bodies.
Oh, God. I'd be terrified.
I know. Terrified. Like if the person still has to go to work, and I'd be like, sorry, I like you, but not that much.
No, keep your distance, man.
I like you, but not that much.
Seriously. Oh,
yeah,
man.
FaceTime and TV dates. Yeah, totally. You know what? It's like old school, like love letters and talking on the phone and like, I just don't have, I'm at capacity. I barely have energy for that on a good day. But not during a pandemic. All right. Enough about that. How is everyone doing? How is your week? How is it going? I ask this question every day and barely anybody responds.
I know.
Which is odd, I think. We're sharing with you. The courteous thing to do would be to share with us back. But you guys do you. So what we are so busy, oddly. Yes, Lynn. Love
Oh.
it. Amazing. Yes. How is everybody? Like, respond, talk to us.
We're
Lots of
here.
feelings. Yep. Lots of feelings. Yeah. Tamisha, my week is going great.
Awesome.
Please talk to us.
This is live. Like, we're here in real time.
So, like, this is Anna says, I am going crazy. Yo.
Valid.
The wheels are off. The days are blurring together. Yep. Totally. I'm definitely having a day. Yep. I showered in time. Nice. Nice, showered. I had to go out, and I'm finding I forget how to drive.
Yeah, that happened to me yesterday. I got nervous driving.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
See, that's something that is an activity I do with my children now. That is an activity, right? Whereas like that is let's do our afternoon drive, kids, and we get in the car and we crank the tunes, and it's like a solid 30 minutes, and it's just, something that is an afternoon activity.
I might take that on.
It actually is great. It really is. Like at that 3 o'clock, like wrangly dead time. We're like, all right, you've been watching TikToks now for 7 hours. Let's get in the car and do some driving. We went to a drive-by birthday party. We're doing that tomorrow. All of my son's friends are turning 10. And he has so many friends that were born in March and April, and they're all having these physical isolation, can't be with their friends on their 10th birthday, which is like, you're 10 and it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
And so we do these drive-by parades. He's had like 7 friends who've turned 10 in the last like 3 weeks from the top crazy team. They have a lot of March birthdays. And we've done these like birthday parades where we like honk and like play music, and there's like 10 cars driving down the street, and we like drive really slow and wave.
Love that. That's amazing.
What else can we do, right? Like,
yeah,
you can't even stop anymore. Like I don't know where you are, but we have like bylaw officers like driving around and like full full effect, like loads of bylaw officers.
Really?
In my area. Wow. Because there's a lot of open spaces. There's a lot of trails. There's a lot of like schools and parks and stuff. And so there's loads of bylaw officers like in the neighborhoods. Driving around, and so we can't even like stop. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, we do like, what is that called when it's like a convoy? We like convoy birthday party.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, bringing on the tears. Yeah. Maya says, relax, lots of meditation and reading amongst dealing with 2 very active little boys. Yeah, totally. All right. So enough of that. Let's dive in. So for the last 2 weeks, we have been talking about how to pivot. We've been talking about how to pivot because you need to. It is not business as usual. It is, this is our favorite saying. Laura saw it on an Instagram post. Like, it's business as best you can.
Yep.
And I really want you to take that to heart. Like, it's as best as you can. Whatever effort you can put out, you should be at this point. And, you have to figure out a way to make the new normal work for you. This isn't ending anytime soon. We need to stop being like, okay, when this ends. Nope. This is how it is now, especially for those people who've had to close clinics, who are manual practitioners, osteopaths, massage therapists, yoga instructors, Pilates, naturopaths. Did I say chiros? Dentists. I was like, oh, I have to cancel my dentist appointment. Like, I enjoy going to I go to the dentist every 4 months. Like, how come somebody hasn't put out a course on how to do your own dental, like, home cleaning?
We just had, I think, either a dental hygienist or a holistic dentist. I can't remember what designation she is, join 10K. So that will be coming soon.
Amazing. Like, I'd buy that right now for me and the kids. Like, I'd buy that right now. Put a course out on how to do a professional level self clean.
Yeah.
I mean, other than flossing, like, What products can I use? Like, anyway, the
Yeah.
ideas are plentiful. Don't get me started. But no longer we were talking about this earlier this morning about how angry we feel for a couple of reasons, that I personally have been talking about creating email lists and audiences. My first lead magnet was, the 5 steps to take your business online or something. And it's literally the same content we just taught you over the last 2 weeks. And I did that in 2011. Right. And so I'm angry and I feel bad because there are so many practitioners, specifically clinicians who had clinics. There's so many nutritionists and registered dietitians and all of who are behind the 8 ball.
Yep.
Because either they didn't hear the message, which we're working on making sure that our content is being shared to a hell of a lot more people everywhere. But either they didn't hear the message, or they I just had Daniel come in and he looked at me, he's like, oh, okay.
Fine.
Either they didn't hear the message, or thank you. Okay, go now. I mean it, please. No, please. Thank you. They didn't hear the message, or they just didn't do it, right? For whatever reason, because they didn't have time, or they didn't know how, or whatever the case may be. And like, email list, like at the very least, right? Online automation, online program, more than one revenue stream. Like, these are, it makes me angry for so many reasons, because the schools didn't properly prepare you, your colleges haven't prepared you, your associations haven't prepared you. The mindset of the practitioner, in terms of practitioner versus entrepreneur and business owner, right? And like, there are people who just had to pivot. They didn't skip a beat. They just had to pivot. And then there's other people who are legitimately lost their incomes and don't have a way to make that back.
Yep.
And they just now have to start from scratch online.
Yeah. It's the difference between, I saw another Instagram post today. It's the difference between, we're all experiencing this a little bit differently. And some of us are experiencing this as a sprinkle. And, it's affecting things, but we're, safe at home and able to carry on business as unusual, but still continue doing what we do. And then for other people, it's a storm where everything has just stopped and turned upside down. And it is not, it's not business at all. And I think that's exactly what we're kind of saying here. It's like, there are people who are prepared dealing with the sprinkle.
Yeah.
And those of you who aren't, it's a fucking storm.
Yeah. And you know what it is? This term just came to me. They were the early adopters, because even though we do everything digital and we have for years, I would assume, I don't obviously have the stats to back this up, but I would assume that the ratio of online practitioners and coaches to offline, or those people who want to go online but for whatever reason aren't all in, right, in the sense of doing the work. Maybe they still have a day job but they're not like doing the work. The ratio is completely unbalanced. And those people who are online, those especially the licensed people, they're early adopters. Right. And the early adopters usually win. Right. In this circumstance, that's the truth, right? The early adopters get the benefit, they get the edge, they've had the leverage. And that's not to say that you can't adopt now. Because
you could still be an early adopter at this point.
Yes, at this point. In 6 months to a year from now, I think that the landscape of alternative health is going to look drastically different.
Agree.
Right? Because we're not going back to business before COVID. That's not even a thing that exists anymore, right? Everything now has changed. Everything, how people can, they're going to be used to digital because they're forced to do it. They're being forced to do it, and they see the advantages of it my mom was telling me, and like my dad especially, like he's super digital, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom, she was like, we had our first council meeting. She belongs to like this volunteer women's um, nonprofit organization. And she was like, we had our first council meeting via Zoom. She's like, I don't know why we weren't doing this all along. She's like, I
Right?
didn't have to go out at night. I didn't have to drive.
Yes.
I didn't have to leave my house in the winter. She's like, I literally could make a tea. I could have a snack. Like,
Yeah.
she was like, this was the best thing ever. She's like, we're never going back. Maybe we'll alternate because it's nice to be in person sometimes for sure. She's like, but
Yes.
especially in the winter, she's like, we're all 65 and up. Who wants to be driving at 7:30 at night in the winter?
Yeah.
So things aren't really going to go back to the way that they were. They're going to change.
Yeah.
And so the question really is, are you going to adapt or are you going to like retire? Right? Like I know it sounds a little harsh, but it's the truth. Like, are you going to adapt or are you going to retire? Because you have to adapt. You cannot carry on, obviously, and I hope that makes sense. You cannot carry on business as usual because it doesn't exist anymore. Those are not the times that we are now living in a 3-week period. The landscape of the alternative health economy changed forever. It changed. And you know forever.
What? It didn't go away. It changed.
It didn't go away.
It didn't end.
No, it didn't end because a lot of our clients are still making sales. They're just pivoting, right? It didn't end. It just changed. So let's just do a recap on where we started. The question that we started with that we wanted you to ask yourself about your ideal client was, what do they need to know, believe, and feel in order to be in a better position to work with you? And that extends across the board. So in order to be able to answer that question, you have to clearly know the problem that they want solved. Not the root cause according to you, but what is the problem? What are the complaints that are coming out of their mouth that you can then address, and you can create content around their misinformation that they have, the objections that they have, the things that they've tried in the past that haven't worked, the reason they're not getting results now, and the benefits of them working with you, right? What content can you create that educates them on that? Because that's where we're at. It's no longer, oh, this is, we said this yesterday, like, oh, 5 tips to stay hydrated. It's really putting yourself in the shoes of your ideal client as best as possible and saying, what are they experiencing right now? And how is my expertise and my program going to kill that pain right now? Not in 3 months, not in whatever, right now. And then having the offer put in front of them once they are in a better position to buy from you. Right?
Yep. So think about, let's give an example because it's always better when we can give examples. Yeah. Let's say you are a health coach or a practitioner who in your mind balances women's hormones. Okay. You balance hormones, but that's not the problem that you solve. Let's say the problem that you solve is you stop hot flashes for women going through menopause, right? So that is a very specific problem that your ideal client is having right now. They may not know that they have to balance their hormones. They just know that they're going through menopause and they're having hot flashes. So you aren't talking all the time about balancing hormones. You're talking about hot flashes. You're educating them as to why they have hot flashes. You're telling them what's actually going on in their body when they're having a hot flash. So, having just a fan that they carry around with them isn't really working because they're hot from the inside out, right? You're creating content around that, not around balancing hormones.
Right.
Does that help you guys?
And to take that one step further, adding in the particular situation that we're in and explaining to them what stress does, explaining to them what trauma does.
Yes.
Laura went to Costco yesterday and I asked her how it was because I've only been into a grocery store one time and I just refused to go back into the grocery store because it was one of the most traumatic experiences that I've had. And I go to Shoppers Drug Mart, which is like a smaller thing in it because it feels safer to me. And she was like, it's fine. I spent $1,500 because I'm never walking into a grocery store again because it was traumatic. Yep. Right? What does that do to your if you are a woman experiencing what does those experiences do? And how right now, given the current circumstances, can I better support you? Right? Yes. How do you then support your ideal client who's having hot flashes, who's in menopause or experiencing menopause, who's experiencing these other symptoms of menopause? How can you give them support? Yeah. Right now. Yes. Right now, without adding more stress to their lives. Explain to them what is happening. Right? Give them some actual strategies to be able to better support themselves before you even work with them. Give them some things so that you've demonstrated that you can help them. They start to build that know, like, and trust factor with you. And then they're like, okay, I want to work with you. This is how it works. And I think that so many people, so many practitioners and coaches, because we get this question a lot, it's like, well, I don't want to give away so much for free. Yes. Or how much, free information do we give? And we're like, you know what, at this point, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. We've, given you over the last 2 weeks so much content that we teach our paying clients. Because if you're going to go take action on your own, good for you. That's amazing. And there's going to be people that have tuned in and are like, you know what? I'm still struggling. I need to work with them. I need to work with them because they obviously know what they're talking about. And it's the same with you and your business, right? It's the same with you and your ideal clients. You need to give before you receive. And that's how this works. And so you're not giving away the specifics. You're not coaching them. You're not giving them one-on-one advice. You're giving them the high-level strategies. You're giving them the frameworks so that when you do put an offer out in front of them, they've already gotten a little bit of a result, right? Yep. You've demonstrated through your content, through showing up consistently, that you know what you're talking about. Yeah. And then they're in a better position to say yes to you. And that's the point. You need to move them from, I would say, mistrust, skepticism, yes, lack of confidence, yes, doubt, low self-worth, all of the feelings and emotions that they have now because of past efforts, because of whatever. Your content and you showing up literally moves them to a better position in their mind and feeling in their body to say yes to you. And then you come with your offer that solves the problem that they have, not the underlying problem, not the root cause, yes, but the problem that you kill the pain that they have. The one problem, the one thing that they want solved. Yeah. Yeah. And you just do that over and over and over again. And we have clients that are like, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Good. Repeat yourself. That means you're doing it right. Yeah, that means you're doing it right. You need to be repeating the messaging and just use different stories to get the point across. Because as we said, if you're doing lead gen right, you have new people coming into your world all the time. They need to hear the stories and you need to keep saying the things. The content that we've shared over the last 2 weeks is the same content I was sharing in 2012. I'm just better at teaching it. Yeah. I'm just better at teaching it, right? But the stuff that you share doesn't change. It's just you get better at teaching it over time because you get the feedback from your people. You get better at telling stories, you become more confident. But the point is, and I think if we can leave you with anything right now, it's put yourself in your ideal client's mind and body. Put yourself in their shoes as best as possible and brainstorm the list of things that they are struggling with right now, and address it. Address it over and over and over again. Make a wide range of content themes. We shared what those were yesterday. Yep. I believe it was yesterday. Yeah. Go back and watch the Facebook Live from yesterday, which was Thursday, April 2nd.
Yes, it was.
Look at me with the dates.
Good for you.
I know I had to look at the calendar. Like I just was like side of the calendar.
I was impressed for a minute.
Yeah. And don't overthink it. This is not about you. If you want to be one of those early adopters, or if you are one of those early adopters, start putting your content out now, right? Whether you have a lead magnet, whether you have all of the parts, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just show up as that leader, show up as the expert. Even if you don't feel like it, it's fine. But we need to continue to show up. Yeah.
That's it. And remember, if you're feeling anxious, our favorite saying in the world, and we say it to our clients all the time, is that action alleviates anxiety. So if you're unsure or nervous, or you don't know what to do, or you don't know what to write, or you don't know how to talk to them, just do it. Put content out there, take action. You will feel better. You will feel better. And that's how you will get confident.
Yeah. So we have now 2 weeks of step by step. You have to sit in front of the computer. They're all over on my Facebook business page at Lori Kennedy Inc. If you go into the videos, you can go and watch them. And if you're like, I need a little bit more specific actions, go back. We gave them to you every single day for the last 2 weeks. And this is where you make the commitment to do the work, even if you think it's garbage. Even if you're like, these posts are shit, post them anyway. You will get better. You will get better. You have to earn your stripes, right? If you're not sure how to do lives or this or that, it's fine. It's going to be garbage when you start. It really is. It'll be helpful a little bit, but it's not going to be awesome, but it will be in 6 months from now, in a year from now, in 3 years from now, and in 10 years from now. But this is where you have to make the decision to say, you know what? I'm not going to hold myself back anymore. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm just going to put stuff out there and let it, I'm going to do it despite the fear. Right. And slowly but surely those feelings of fear and self-doubt will turn into conviction and capability and confidence. And that was good.
That was good.
And I'm going to have to use that again. But that's the truth of it. You don't get the feelings of conviction and capability and confidence when you're first starting because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, think about it. We were saying the example of like driving from before, right? Like when you first learn to drive, you're not a confident driver.
Yep.
But the only way to become a confident driver is to keep driving in all conditions, snow, rain, sleet, whatever. Then you build up confidence. It's the same thing with your business. You can't build up confidence if you don't do the things. Right? So
true.
Start doing the things. Go slow if you want to, but start doing the things. Do the things. Just do the things. So if you have some time this weekend and you want to go back and watch the videos, we highly recommend that you do. If you want to learn more about how you can work with us, you can go to thewbh.com/breakthrough and book a call with one of our advisors. We have different levels of programs and services based on where you're at. The best thing to do would be to just book a call, right? We have, like I said, a variety of programs and services. We work with all different types of designations. We work with licensed practitioners and health coaches and nutritionists and NDs and RDs and you name it, we work with you in alternative health and coaching. So if that's something that you want to explore, please go and book a call, thewbh.com/breakthrough. You can DM me, you can private message. We will answer all your questions. Thank you for hanging out with us. We will be back on Monday morning around 8:30. Have a good weekend. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.